Good morning. We got a bump in spending this morning. Retail sales up a bit more than expected, 0.5% approximately, month over month. So that's pretty strong, and that shows. Uh, I mean, it's a positive sign, but something like that maybe could slightly be a sign of a red flag of a reason for the Fed to push out lowering rates because they might see this as an inflationary signal. I don't think so. I think that's really not where it's going to come from. If it's there, we saw CPI and PPI, and that's just not the case. So I think this is just a little, a slight adjustment in the landscape, and the market responded. The dollar responded by a weakening. The market responded by weakening. The dollar responded by weakening. I'm not sure if rates on my system are delayed or not. The rates have not shown an inflationary reaction, but that may be what happens today. We may get back up to 4.8.2% or 4.84% on the 30-year. That's my what would we call it? That's my 30-year. That's my measuring stick. So let me close this window down too bright. So the market, let's take a look at it actually for a sec here. And Netflix reports tomorrow. So the market closed yesterday near this trendline resistance, but it has pulled back because of what I just told you about this morning. And it has room to come back down. I mean, see, I guess I have to explain it. You have this kind of zigzag movement here at the bottom. It's very important to really pay attention to exactly how the movements have occurred at bottoms, how the zigzag is exactly playing out. Okay, like that. Okay, and then now we've been backfilling, which means this move off of the bottom from here, but really from this pivot point here, is coming in and testing. It's trying to test, and it's backfilling. It's getting tighter and tighter. And then today, a start down here is not better. It's not better, but it's certainly in line with backfilling. Okay, and we could have more pull back like this. Could break this low on one of these days, maybe another pullback back here. And then suddenly some good news report, comes out, and we're back up here, and we still haven't broken trend line resistance, and then that gets backfilled in. You see how this is all still positive stuff, all good stuff based on this massive tariff relief news here. But all this backfilling, that's good. The market is tenderized and is sort of firming up, I guess you could say. It is the way Mark Minervini has said it. It is constructive. It's constructing something. It's not just wild all over the place like it was here. Excuse me, here. Or just this huge slide that never ended. That's not constructive either. I mean, just like full on sliding makes no sense. Constructive is some back and forths going on, creating pivot points, creating a structure. See? Constructive. So, this is what we got to keep watching on the market. All right, market opens in 3 minutes, but overall, you can't overreact when the market doesn't have a good day. Because right now we have essentially this whole range of this candle, and really probably all the way to down here. This massive amount of volume sell off, and this was a red volume, by the way. I don't know why it's showing up as green. Oh, in comparison to the prior day, this massive volume, that's a bottom. That's an overreaction. Let's see if I can get it to be the right color. So I thought I programmed it in here somewhere. I guess the close. Yeah, it won't change there because the close is above the prior day's close by just a smidgen. But I consider this a pretty down volume day. So you have to think of this as a big overreactive panic sell-off final capitulation moment right here in the whole sell-off scheme of things. It's just way too much. If I go over to the RSI, which I believe I have over here. Yes, I do. Okay. And let's go over to QQQ. Yeah, you can see that hit almost 20 on the RSI. And remember what I told you before, once price re-enters the 40 area after having been way down there, that's like a buy signal. You can see back here that would be here, just barely here. Don't know if you would count that here. I mean, I'd have to analyze it for a second. Here and here, and you can see that sometimes it's not correct, but that's just the way it goes. So that would have been like right here, right over here. The market is open over here, and you get the idea. So all right, let's watch this market open, and let's take a look at what's going on here. The day trading opportunities are not really. No, none of them are really over 100%. We could watch TGL. Nah, I mean it's nah. It has too many flippant sell-offs. ICAD. No, that's a buyout. You can see that by the way the chart is formed. And then SBEV. Everyone's excited about SBEV, so there may be some excitement there, but I don't see proper follow-through on SBEV. So I think it's going to pull back as much as it goes. In other words, there might be some excitement there, enough to lift off and break out, but there's also enough fucked upness or whatever you want to call it that it's gonna screw itself pretty quickly, in my opinion. So you might stay away from SBEV. Okay, so the market is actually getting bought up off of this open, so a little bit green. It's meaningless at this point. I have one stock pulling back the most, which is Spotify. Okay, let's take a look at Spotify just for my own protection. No, it's doing okay. And WGS, which had a lot of gains, starting a little bit lower. Everything's starting a little bit lower this morning, but at the moment getting a bit bought up. You can watch Bitcoin for some leading indicator. We have about 70% breadth in growth. So let's go to strongest of them, Robinhood. Okay, which I have. Okay, Robinhood attempting to get above trendline resistance again. So it's kind of living in this pushing of trendline resistance area, which is great. I'm waiting for the getting any drop frames. No, I'm waiting for the internet. There we go, to fill in my candle, my wicks. There we go. So it's not an entry day on Robinhood, and probably excuse me, not an entry day on the market. There's not an entry signal on the market. Although remember what happens if we gap down like we have and then reclaim yesterday's low. That can be a signal. Although it's a signal, it's more meaningful if that kind of a thing happens in a downtrend, not overall, but literally in a downtrend. So in other words, this is an up movement of days. So it still can be a very good sign, and it could be a signal. So, but that could take a little while here as the market fleshes out this open and the opening and the information. What I wanted to check was rates. Yeah, okay, so rates are bumping up. So we should see the market decline a little bit today, probably. Other names to look at, CLAC for some reason, and I've seen it many, many times. This is very interesting is that a lot of stocks are getting constructive and setting up. And when that, boy, I mean, look at this. Roblox is just totally looking good. So left sides, okay, you'll hear me talk about left side and right side. And what we're talking about is in bases. So what I notice here is that the left side may be in, and that could have ended on that drop way down there, and then you get the left side as this. So now we're forming the right side of this base, and it's getting constructive. In other words, if it can get up above here, then it's starting to reverse pivots, and then perhaps either fly a little bit or come back and then come back up. And these are all going to be buy points, and they can even sort of be buy points now, but you'd have to be just, scalping and in a very defensive trading mode. And it's not quite there yet. The volatility on the market needs to come down. We're at 31. We need that to be like 24 or lower. Maybe 25 and 26 and 27 and 28 we might act, but it might anyway, the right side of the market will also be concurrently creating a beautiful right side. I don't know what I was trying to say there, but yeah. So, but the real point is that this is the point, if you're listening. The number of stocks that are making constructive moves and charts, price action towards the right side of what will eventually be considered a base is increasing. And that is a sign that it's happening. Because that doesn't happen in bear markets. And it can kind of happen in neutral. But when you're seeing an increase in setups forming and constructive right side movement, like look at this one, Summit, right? I mean, it's just a biotech, but still it broke a pivot after 3 really strong days. That's progress. That's constructive. We're starting to go from not great for 4 months or whatever it is, 5 months, 6 months, to now it's starting to happen. And you just got to be able to recognize that. This isn't an absolute thing. You have to be able to understand that it's happening. Like you need to look at the market as this database of 10,000 stocks or 20,000 or 500 or however you want to look at it. And that more stocks are starting to preemptively draw out a beautiful potential base that will be looked back on. That's happening. That doesn't have to happen, but it is happening. And that is telling you that things are warming up. They're shaping up. Like this Duolingo, it didn't have to come and double bottom on this pullback right there and even make a higher low. It could have pulled back much lower and been, in a bear market, that's what it would have did. But it didn't. It shaped up, and not only that did it put in a higher low, but it's almost back to the little peak here, pivot, which once broken, if that's what's going to happen, we'll make a move in the proper direction. Interestingly enough, if it did something like I just drew right there, that'd be a tightening. That'd be a tightening right side and super constructive. And you can see that happening here. How those swing low pivots and stuff started to tighten. And then once it broke out, bam, now it got destroyed by the tariff talk, but it knew what it was doing. And it's not so much that it's on an individual stock basis. It's also, what I'm trying to say is that you also have to take it as a whole. So Duolingo, you have to look at like Duolingo and not as like, oh, is this an opportunity? That's not what you should be doing right now during these pullbacks in the market. You shouldn't be looking at stocks as, is this an opportunity? That will be obvious. That's going to just speak to you perfectly with its signal and setup and the way it's ascribed out. But what you want to do instead is be looking at, here's another one, here's another one. Everything's starting to shape up, and not fucking miss that. That's such an important signal in and of itself. So let's continue to look at some of these names that are popping this morning up on the scanner. And although they may not be individual signals, we can check if they are shaping up. So Roblox is, and so I'm going to put that on one of my lists here. If it's not already, let me see. Yeah, I'm going to put that on my list, Roblox, because it is shaping up. It's something to keep an eye on. AS. So we're just going to blow through a lot of stocks and see, are they shaping up? So this one is not. It was a IPO break and run breakout, IPOU breakout. But it has pretty much failed out, and it hasn't responded as well as the others. Fox, Rivian, Robinhood. Let's go back to Robinhood, but I do believe that's on my list. Yeah, it's even in the top 11 stocks to watch as leaders potentially. Coming out of this, CrowdStrike. That's even better. See how constructive it's getting? It's getting up and over prior pivots. Just about. It hasn't closed above, but it is getting there, and it is trying. It wants to do something like this and then continue on its journey. Crowd. So I probably will put that on the list as well as just I don't know. I wouldn't say it's necessarily a leader. But as far as the leaders go, we've got Meta, but I believe that, yeah, did not respond so well in the last few days. So I'm going to sort of cross that out. Okay, and then BRKB. Berkshire. Berkshire remains really perked up and strong. It's looking good. Avgo. Avgo, it could be doing better. I put a alert line right there, and it could be doing better, but maybe it will. I'd say it's lagging now, whereas before it was leading. Gonna need to see a bit more from it. Let's make sure that this will alert us when it gets there. Avgo, Walmart. Walmart remains very strong. It's one of the stronger ones. This very nice break above prior pivot. And so this is the break above right here. And it could get all the way back down to here. So it has this huge range to just become constructive. And we hope it doesn't pull back too much and it stays high, tight, flaggish and tightens up. And then maybe on the earnings release there, it's going to break out. We shall see. So Walmart remains strong. JP Morgan, that was one of our top picks. JP Morgan, a bit weak now. It was strong on the rebound from the market low, and it's remained up where it got to, but it still, relatively speaking, needs to get way up there to be a leader. So it's not quite leading. Visa. It's trying, same problem, in order to be a leader, it needs to get up here. So it's a little bit laggy, but it is strong. Costco's looking a little bit better. Double bottomed, put in a very nice double bottom, and has since come up and out of a pivot point. And we're looking for that to stay high and start to be constructive and tightening. And so you can see that we have so many names. Let's look at Netscape. That's not one of the ones necessarily. Cloudflare. I mean, it's trying, but it's laggy. It's not leading. If it was leading, it'd be up here already above this pivot. Okay, so, and it's not even there. So it's quite laggy. Leading would be here. Lagging is down here. So it's not leading, it's lagging. And but that doesn't mean, see, laggards are leaders too. They just are lagging. Okay, so remember that. Laggards are leaders too. They're just lagging. All right. So it doesn't mean necessarily that Cloudflare won't move, from here and get to new all-time highs and more in the future. But what it will mean is that everything that it does is going to be several days, maybe weeks later than when everyone else is excited about the market. And so when everyone else gets overbought, when the market gets overbought and net is starting to go, yeah, let's get in on this. Yeah, we're good too. It'll be too late. And then the market will pull back and it will only have, 1 or 2 days. And then the market pulls back. And now see what's happened is it stays laggy and stays not a good performer. So that's what happens. It's still an interesting candidate though, but I wouldn't put it on my top list in any way. Snow. Yeah, no. See how this one just doesn't even tilt to the right? Nope. Tilt up and to the right. EQT. And it's trying, but it's not really performing. NRG. You can see how this one is trying, but not quite happening. In fact, yeah, hitting that new lower low was not great. And then double topping here. And then not getting quite all the way back up like we saw. Like, look at Walmart. Look, if you want to know what is the difference between a leader and a laggard, look at Walmart. In that time, Walmart got up and over that pivot. That's a leader. That's leader. Walmart is a leader right now. You know, that might change. Netflix. Netflix, I believe, is a leader too. Let's see. Yeah, Netflix looking pretty nice. If you were to draw a trend line resistance from here to here, with this, second point here, you can see that it's already broken that trend line resistance. It's strong, but that could be an ER effect. Just getting bought up before ER. It could be, but it might not be. It might be real continued strength, and obviously, it is where it is for a reason. We like Netflix a lot. This is the best of the Magnificent Seven, and some of the other Magnificent Seven aren't even magnificent right now. And we expect great things from this ER in the next day. It's going to be reporting tomorrow after hours. And with that, we will probably get a trade on there. But when it reports, after reports, always after. Ooh, environmentalism when you're voting shows no par value. GFL Environmental Inc. Yeah, this one is great. Look at this. It's super strong. In an uptrend. Perked up. Ready to break. It does have earnings in a few days, so that's probably going to hold it back. Now that base just got constructive. Broke. And then, of course, this was the tariff pullback. But it got all the way back up to where it was. It's like, okay, let's keep going, guys. And this has some good signs to it. Let's look at the earnings, though. Revs quarterly. This might be seasonal. Not profitable so far. It's questionable as far as its financials go. However, the way this chart is going indicates that the financials analysis is probably pretty good, pretty decent. What is this? 1, 2, 3, Walmart. Okay, what is up strong in my port right now is ATGE. Let's look at this. Yeah, look at that. Very nice strength. You can see why I got into that, right? Because although the left side kept going down and down and down and down, it started to construct itself and get tighter and tighter. And this is an entry day with stop down here or at low of the day. I got in a little bit cheatish right here. They call it a cheat entry, but it's still good. and I'm simply just sitting on it performing well. ATGE. That is. Let's make sure I have that on our list because it is very good. Yes, it is. Okay. High RS during correction. ATGE. We also have WGS, TJX, PPC, GRND, ICIW, AEM. AEM is like, I haven't been able to get a piece of it. It's just, it's out of the base. It's running. And today it's even higher. My goodness, I think it's gold related. By the way, gold hitting $3,300 an ounce. Anyone who's in gold, boy, they must be happy as pie. Strike, SE, Rivian Energy, SMCI Dash. So anyway, by the way, over there on AEM, you could see there was a base here. If you were going after it, I'm not sure that had it as a pick that was going to go from 88 to 125 in such a short amount of time, but it certainly is a great sign, and I do believe it's gold related. So it's not necessarily because it's doing good as a company or anything like that. It's just gold, its value as a company has gone up because gold has gone up. PGR. This is really nice. Bounced off the 20. A little bit laggy as far as getting above those pivots go compared to others. However, really strong, especially down on the higher low thinking. PGR, Progressive. Okay, so a lot of the insurance companies looking really good, but especially Progressive and Berkshire Hathaway. Palantir. Palantir's leading. You see, even though it's pulling back a little bit today, but you can see how it pulled out of that pivot and broke it. If it didn't break it, then it just double tapped it. I did take out a little bit yesterday, right there, 1/5 of my position. But this is a nice sign of strength, getting all the way back up to that pivot point. Remember, Walmart is past it and is leading. Others are not quite there, and they're lagging. Well, Palantir is in the middle, and a hell of a strong, stock. So getting neutral here and then catching some improvement in the coming months is definitely worthwhile, even at this sort of semi-neutral standing. Because again, like I said, laggards are leaders too. So therefore, neutral stocks of this type and chart formation are leaders too. They're just not as laggy as laggards. Neutrals are not as laggy as laggards as far as the leaders go. But they're better. So they're somewhere between neutral and leading, and that's a good region to be in. And Palantir, doing AI for military contracts and business, and it's good stuff. It's good stuff. Palantir. Let's see if I have anything I need to be concerned about or looked at. Spotify. No, is it Spotify? Yeah, Spotify probably that I have to be concerned about the most, and even that is just a smidge. Just holding pretty strong. I am getting further strength from also AGX today. All right, yeah. And you can see there with regards to what I was talking about, how this is really leading. It's up and over pivot, it's up and over the pivot, and the lower low on the market, the lowest low, it was a higher low for this AGX. And this is just a super performer. I mean, it went from 40 to almost 200 in 1 year. 40 to 200 in 1 year. So that's 200 divided by 45, and then you do in 1 year. So that's 400% gain in 1 year. That's a pretty damn good performer for, smooth movement like this. And we're not talking about like a penny stock. Well, what is the valuation anyway? Market cap is $2 billion. So this is a nice place to be, $2 billion. On the low end of mid caps or the high end of small caps, $2 billion. That's sort of the cutoff. You're going to find things that can move a lot. Like look at the ADR down here, almost 8%. So that's going to give you a lot of return. That would be close to almost 3% per day when you catch a move. That's what that might break down to. And then, of course, more if it's just a quick little scalperino. All right. Any other names here we should look at? Are Chewy, I already have, and Hum and Dash. Let's see. Dash. Okay. It's good. Hum, no. Chewy. Oh, the Chewy looks great. I would probably almost add on to Chewy here. I have a put credit spread. I might be able to add on to that, but I think I might get some shares on this. This just looks so great. This right side constructive. I think I will have to wait until it breaks this. It does, then I'll that up a couple of cents to be sure. Okay, there we go. But that is just looking really great. So that really nice tightening going on. I don't know if you noticed that, but so you had it just coming down. And it just starts to stop and tighten up. Look at all this tightening action, like a coil, and then it's coming up and out of all that. This whole region there, it's now out of. So I'd be looking to buy all in here for eventual move that way. All right, you guys, let's see. Close to the top of the hour, and hopefully that's been helpful to you. Lots of interesting names. Keep you posted in the group and keep me posted as well. And have a good day on the stock market. I'll be around. Okay, have a good one.